It will never be over, Princeling. Not as long as I draw breath.
Uncle? Long live the king.
Fatality.
Back in time, we will bring it into the lives.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Buggy Reviews. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about the third season of Young Justice, also known as Young Justice Outsiders. Now, this show is a very impressive piece of work, honestly. I caught on to this show kind of late in the game, you see. When I really got hooked into the show, it was already done with its 2 seasons and then got canceled. I had found this out in some YouTube clips, and then when I started digging into the history of the show, I was learning a lot more about it, and when I watched it, I enjoyed it. I felt that for it was generally a kid-focused show, it had a more mature vibe to it. It had a good setting to it, you know? The characters were good. It was more focused on, like, character-driven plot lines and whatnot, and no BS, no crappy, cheesy things that go along with it, you know? And it was a lot more, it was definitely a lot more, it had a more interesting grit to it, because, like, even in the, like, in most animated shows for kids, they always replace, like, the guns with, like, laser guns, so that way it's never a problem. But in this one, they just full-on go with actual guns, and it's like, okay, perfect, this works. Then it got canceled after its 2nd season, due to Cartoon Network unable to get a market in the female kid demographic, and of course they couldn't sell merchandise off it. I don't know, but that's what the reason was, and then it got canceled. But the fans persisted. The fans kept at it, and over the years, it just got to the point where we were able to acquire the show. And not only that, they were smart enough to put it on their DC Universe app, which is a really good way to get a number of people to already sign up for it, because it's like, dude, we wanted a Young Justice Season 3, and now we've gotten it. And with the app, you know, and all that it allows the show to more freedom than it would have ever had on Cartoon Network. Not to say that the show itself didn't take some really interesting turns and went down some, like, kind of dark paths, but this one allows it to explore it more better, and without that whole sugarcoating vibe that kid shows kind of have to do, you know. In this one, it's elevated, but it's not I'm not saying that it's like an animated Game of Thrones thing, you know. You're not gonna see the graphic nudity or whatever the hell. You know, there'll be some blood here and there, but you know, it's all just maintained. You know, it's still the same show, but just it's just more evolved. It's aged. You know, it's given a different taste to it, because the people know that the fans have gotten a little older. They know what we are going to expect. Okay, and this show is just an incredible work. Honestly, I was watching it like crazy. You know, I was hyped for it, and I was not disappointed in it. You know, the characters, some of my favorite characters are on that show, and some characters I don't even really think about until I hear their Young Justice version. They're like the de facto version for me. So it's like when I hear Superboy, I'm immediately gonna think of the Young Justice version, because that's the one that sold it for me. When I hear Aqualad, I'm gonna think of the Young Justice version, because that sold it for me. Artemis, Young Justice version, just without a doubt. Miss Martian, Young Justice, of course. Those are the ones that I'm always gonna remember. It's my de facto default versions of the characters. Those are my main canon things. And I think what really got me in to the appeal of Young Justice the most, and one of my favorite things about it, was the villains themselves. And it wasn't just the fact that they had an entirely impressive roster of villains, some of the big names, some like lesser known, but given a massive overhaul to fit within the theme of the show, but the fact that there's an entire organization of supervillains that are completely organized and they don't fall apart at the first sign of trouble. It's like they adapt, they overcome the situation, and they keep going. Like maybe members might change, but they're still there, and it's like it's perfect. I love it. I just like it when there's like a supervillain group that is just this organized to such a high level. And they do have some big names. I mean, hell, they have like Vandal Savage, Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, just to name a couple of the people that are on the light, And of course, you have your other mainline DC heroes like Batman and the Justice League and all that. They're in the show, and it's not just because of cameos and whatnot. It's like they are there. They have roles within the story, But it's not about them. Okay, it's not about them at all. It's about our Young Justice people, the team, the outsiders, And I'd say for characters, they did pretty well. And even when there's like some obvious characters that if you've read enough comics or you learn enough about some stories that they were involved in, you're starting to think, are they going to do it? Young Justice does it in a way where it knows you're aware of the story, but it subverts your expectations. It subverts your predictability, and thus you're not able to really predict it. It gives a nice twist to it. Suddenly you're like, oh, wow, I totally did not know they were going to do that. I didn't prepare for this. And that's a good thing. Okay? As much as I like to try to predict the show, I do like a show that keeps me predicting, always thinking about it. Even when the episode ends, I'm still thinking about it. It's like I'm thinking, okay, what's gonna happen next? It's like what will occur? What characters will be in? And it's just surprising about the many characters they have in there. Some characters I didn't even think about were in there, like characters like Livewire and Shade, Metamorpho, Katana, Batwoman, characters I never really thought about joining this particular show, but they're in, and it's crazy, and they have them in, and the art style, man, it's perfect. It's like a very good, clear, concise Young Justice style, and even some of the characters will have designs from some of the animated movies, like Deathstroke. He has his Teen Titans Judas Contract movie suit on, freaking Batwoman has her Bad Blood suit on and all that. It's like some of these characters have their, movie designs and whatnot, and it works just perfectly fine for them, and I am more than happy with it. I like it. And the voice work, they got some good voice actors in this one. They got some big ones, Laura Bailey, Troy Baker, Crispin Freeman. Crispin Freeman. I'm sorry, but I would sell my soul to have that man's voice, because I'm sorry, but anything that man plays, it's immediately 1,000 times better than it will ever be in the hands of somebody else. And then you even have like Nolan North and whatnot, and it's just, you have Bruce Greenwood playing goddamn Batman again, and it's like he did a really excellent Batman. Kevin Conroy always will be the superior Batman. He is the original Batman, but if I can go for a modern take on Batman, I will take Bruce Greenwood. I will take that. He's got that just perfect tone in there. You know, it just works for the episodes that he does appear in. And it's just so good. It's so good, you know, to get the original cast members back in, the original characters back in, doing all these stories and everything. And it was just, honestly, there was just a nice nostalgic trip going through this, you know? I get to watch this show and escape the reality of life, you know? I get to enjoy a show that doesn't really want to make any statements. There's no social justice BS. There's no pandering to anything. Like, there's just nothing to it. It's just, there's the show, and they're gonna be like, you know what? There's like a tiny snippet that's like 2 seconds, and it's like, you know what? And it's just like, they don't make a big deal of it. It's just like, okay, there you go. It's like, all the other characters are like, okay, so that's how that is? Cool. Let's move on to the story. And that's perfect. It just focuses on the story and on the characters, you know. And it's just, it was definitely great. I have felt a series of emotions throughout it. You know, I have felt that swell of happiness. I have felt the bouts of sadness in my heart that makes me cry the tears of a manly nerd. I'm a manly nerd! You know, I have the intense moments of yes! And then, of course, my other moments of shock and my moments of, oh, they did that. Oh, yeah! And, you know, I mean, I'm trying not to get into spoilers, honestly, just because I feel like for this show, if you're interested in it, if you've never seen an episode of Young Justice and you want to like catch up on it and get to it, I feel like I should only just tell you my thoughts on it, my feelings on it, my 2 cents on it, and how I feel about the show, and you guys can take what you will from that. And then if you feel like you want to capture the same feelings that I have gotten watching this show, you will go out and find your way to watch it. You know, 3 seasons, 26 episodes per season, half-hour stuff, sprinkle it in, you know, an episode or 2 every other day, you know? It's not like a Game of Thrones marathon, you know? You can have it in there. Enjoy it. Make a weekly thing out of it, you know? Like have it to where every Friday night you get ready, you get your food ready and all that, you get the laptop going, you get the phone, whatever the fuck you got going on there, get it all ready, get the keyboard all going, and then just hit play, enjoy the show, forget life for about a half hour, be done. And it's all just perfect. I'm just saying, like, Young Justice Outsiders had intense expectations when we were told that there would be a 3rd season. There was huge pressure on the creators, the writers, and the actors on this show to live up to the legend, to earn the faithfulness, to reward our loyalty to the show, you know, and they did it. And I'm happy that it's back. And not only that, I'm happy that there's more seasons coming out. There's a season 4 coming out. And that makes me all the more happier. A season 4 that they're already working on. It's just perfect, you know? And I'm happy for it. It's great to have a show that was canceled to come back, you know? It's nice to have that. You know, to have those things in there, you know? Because you know, DC animated shows, it's really not too great these days, you know? Because you have like Justice League Action, which is semi-fine to a degree. Then you have your like horrible monstrosities like Teen Titans Go and whatnot. And when you're really wanting to get your animation fix, you can't exactly wait too long for the movies, because they just only drop like 2 movies a year, and you have to wait forever, and plus, they don't really advertise those movies as much, so it's more likely you have to hear about it from somebody, or have to be constantly on the lookout for it. So, and of course, you know, the real great ones of the animation part of DC was of course the original Batman animated series, the Superman animated series, Batman Beyond, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited. Like those shows, those were the fucking shit. And then of course, I believe there was another show called Legion of Superheroes, which was about the Legion, you know, from the 31st century. Like, I heard that show was pretty cool. It had some people who were in the from the original series come in, you know. So it's like the options for it are extremely limited. So it's like so it's like if you want something now, something that just is modern, has something new that you really crave in an animation show, you know, Young Justice is the show for you, and Young Justice Outsiders really hits it out of the park for me. Like, I have an intense fondness for this show, you know? I enjoy it. It was one of the best shows that they dropped for the 2019 year, you know? And I hope that when you guys all go to check it out, you'll enjoy it as well. And I do recommend it. I recommend that you find a way to do it. I don't care how. You can find your own way to do it. If you have to go find a loophole to it, or pay $60 to or whatnot for the service, I mean, hey, there's other shows on the DC thing too, but hey, I ain't gonna tell you how to do it. You do it yourself and you enjoy it. Now that's just it. I don't have any counters or any rating reviews, like in a numbered fashion for the show, because I figure I'm not gonna do that. I don't need to do that no more. I just need to like give my 2 cents on it. This is just an opinion on me. I'm not a movie reviewer. You see, I'm not a high critic, you know. I'm just a fan. I'm just a nerdy guy that just enjoys the show. So, and if I'm going to tell you I wouldn't recommend it personally, I'm not going to recommend it personally. I just want to tell you my thoughts. You don't have to listen to what I say. I'm just giving my 2 cents on it, you know? And that's about it. I would recommend watching Young Justice if you want a really good show to watch with great characters and good mature moments in an animated style. So, there we have it. So, what else do you guys want me to review? What do you have on thoughts about Young Justice? What is your thoughts about Season 4 when it comes out? You know? And if you have anything else for me to review, please recommend it in the spot below. Also, I'd like to thank Battleframe for helping me out with some of the intros and whatnot. Go check him out. He's pretty cool. Give him a high five. Also, I have a Patreon in case if anybody wants to lend $2 just to help a bug out, you know. Nothing big, but it's like, hey, it's a tip jar. If you want to leave a tip, that's fine by me. So, there we go, guys. I had a good time just rambling on for about 20 minutes or so. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Definitely would recommend Young Justice. I hope you guys watch it and capture the same feelings that I do. Alright? Thank you all for coming along. I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye, guys.